Northern California and Southern California, no doubt it has avoided and completely bucked what most people thought would happen in California. It hasn't crashed. It looks like prices may continue to just keep going up. Hey, it's already the end of March 2024, and according to Redfin, home prices nationally are up 5% versus last year. So today we're looking at where home prices could actually fall, if anywhere, right? And where they're likely to keep going up. Thank you for joining me today. I'm really excited about this video. I put a ton of time and energy into it, and I think you're going to be amazed at some of the information we're going to see. And do me a favor, please comment below. Tell me what's going on in your local housing market. Real estate is hyper-local, so let us know what's happening in your neck of the woods. And again, thank you for watching this video. Okay, so we're going to review an article that's called Realtor.com 15 Hottest Housing Markets and 15 Coldest Markets. Now, this article that we're looking at today is from Resiclub Analytics. Resiclub will take Realtor.com data from their website and download it and then create maps and other charts to show us really what's going on with the data. And you can go to Resiclub Analytics and subscribe to Lance's newsletter. They have a paid subscription, but they also have a lot of free data that you can grab anytime you want. You can also go to Realtor.com. They have a ton of information too. All right, let's get to the article. So Realtor.com, 15 hottest housing markets and 15 coldest markets. A lower hotness score indicates a softer or cold housing market, while a higher score indicates a stronger or hot housing market. Okay, here we go. To gain insights into which regional housing markets might be vulnerable to price weakness in 2024 and which could see the most upward price pressure, Resiclub once again examined Realtor.com's latest hotness score. Realtor.com, which has the self-proclaimed most comprehensive and accurate database of MLS listed for sale homes in the industry, issued a hotness score every month for the nation's 300 largest metro area housing markets. The hotness score is described as an equally weighted composite metric of a geography's supply score and demand score. Those scores take into account factors like days on market, inventory shifts, pricing shifts, and unique listing page viewers per property. So Realtor.com does what other sites like Redfin does, and they calculate a demand or a supply score based on different factors, including how many people are actually viewing properties on their website. So they figure, hey, more people viewing properties on a website is going to mean that there's more demand there than if people aren't viewing them as much. So they have a map that shows us where home prices are likely to fall, where they may keep going. It's a really great interactive map, but let's finish the article, then we'll jump back to the map. Realtor.com's latest hotness score, I love that term, hotness score, indicates that housing markets along the Gulf Coast, including places like Lake Charles, Punta Gorda, Florida, remain the weakest. Some of these Gulf and Southwest Florida markets are experiencing a pullback in pandemic area migration, coupled with significant increases in home insurance premiums and increased consumer credit stress. In certain pockets, such as Austin, home prices got too far detached from underlying fundamentals during the boom. There still remains a great deal of resilience in the Northeast and Midwest. Places like Manchester, New Hampshire, and Columbus, Ohio, right where I live, just don't have enough supply to match demand. The result? Elevated home price growth. One of the things you have to realize and keep in mind is that supply and demand drive home prices. They really do. That is the basics of economics. Now, there are a lot of people out there on YouTube that will show different maps of consumer credit, consumer stress, credit card debt, car loans, M2 money supply, all these little tiny economic details, right? However, you can easily look at your local market and find out if there is going to be a potential price decline or if prices could keep going up. And to do that, all you have to look at is the supply and demand. You can see that on a site like Zillow. I'll show you how to do that in this video. Let's get back to the article. Please keep in mind that Realtor.com scores markets relative to each other. In other words, a market with a score of 100 is simply the hottest among markets right now, but it may not necessarily be in a boom mode. A market with a score of 0 isn't necessarily in crash mode. It's just softer compared to other US markets at the moment. So what they're saying is the lower scores indicate that the market's soft and could have a price decline, but it doesn't mean that they're crashing. Obviously, the red market, same thing. Doesn't mean that, prices are in the 20% growth year over year range. It just means that they have a perfect recipe for continued price growth. This chart's pretty cool. We'll look at the map in a second. And this ranks the top metros by the hotness score. And you can actually see the demand score there and the supply score. So look at some of these top markets: Manchester, New Hampshire, Rochester, New York, Massachusetts, Springfield, Massachusetts, Columbus, Ohio. I live right outside of Columbus, Ohio. It's definitely hot, no doubt about it. Boston, Providence, Rhode Island, Hartford, Connecticut, Concord, New Hampshire, Wisconsin, another Ohio city. Akron, Ohio is on this list, beating out a lot of other areas in the United States. Akron of all places, right? I think Firestone's still there in Akron. I could be wrong, but I think it is. Lancaster, PA, Trenton, New Jersey. The list goes on. Right now, look at some of the areas that have the worst score, the lowest score. You've got a lot of areas in Louisiana, Florida, got Bend, Oregon in there, more Florida, Alabama, Louisiana, Texas. And so the Gulf area and kind of the South, Sunbelt states, if you will, seems like those are hurting the most or softest. And the areas in the Midwest and Northeast seem to be the best. All right. At the end of the article, he says, you might notice that Realtor.com's demand score and supply score appear quite similar in most markets. My theory, some of the metrics that Realtor.com may include in its supply score, such as active listing growth, also serve as a proxy for demand. In my opinion, indeed, a significant decline in demand can lead to homes lingering on the market, causing inventory to rise, even if the total number of homes available for sale remains constant. So therein lies the rub, folks. You're going to see headlines, even I've put them out, saying new listings are up like 15%. And you'll hear people on YouTube tell you, man, new listings have exploded. It's like prices are going to completely crash. Well, new listings have gone up 15%, but active listings are not exponentially increasing. It means there's enough demand to gobble up those new listings. I think of it like Pac-Man. Got those pellets on the screen. Pac-Man's going like this. If you lay out more pellets than Pac-Man can gobble up, or more houses are put on the market than what buyers can buy, you're going to have an increase in active listings, therefore probably more competition and lower prices. But conversely, if Pac-Man's eating those pellets faster than they can be laid out, he ate all the pellets and now is waiting around going, when are you going to put some more pellets out? And then he'll eat those quickly too. If that's the case, if demand is keeping up with the new listings that are hitting the market, prices should probably remain sticky or go up. Again, you can look at a lot of different metrics with the housing market and consumer health. You can even look at like government spending. You can really get into the weeds with it. But to make things simple, just look at active listings and days on market, how long that inventory has been sitting around, and make sure you're looking in your particular price range. So now we're going to visualize that summary into a map that Resiclub Analytics produces. So let's start with some of these cooler markets. In the Northwest, we've got Seattle, Tacoma, hotness score of 50, hotness rank 152. They're like right in the middle, right? Out of 300 metros, they ranked 152. Out of 0 to 100, they ranked 50 in hotness. So maybe that's called balance. Maybe that's not a bad thing, actually. Sacramento, California, hotness score 82, hotness rank 27. So California, when you look at the Northern California and Southern California, no doubt it has avoided and completely bucked what most people thought would happen in California. It hasn't crashed. It looks like prices may continue to just keep going up. San Jose, California, hotness score 63 out of 100, hotness rank 79 out of 300. So they're definitely in the top third. Los Angeles, California, which is also Long Beach and Anaheim in this data, hotness score 62.9, hotness rank 81. And San Diego seems like it never goes down in prices. Hotness score 73 out of 100, hotness rank 44. Again, in that top tier of hot markets. Let's go over to El Paso, Texas. Hotness score 15.4, hotness rank 281. So definitely cooler, much cooler than California. Let's go back. I forgot Arizona. Phoenix, hotness score 50, hotness rank 147. So I know Phoenix and some areas in Southern California took a beating when interest rates changed and kind of demand for houses, tanked because interest rates went up so fast. But they've clearly, a lot of these areas are starting to rebound, and they're not really as bad as a lot of people think they are. All right, Denver, Colorado, hotness score 61.5, hotness rank 89. So it's 89 out of 300. Let's go further to the Gulf. San Antonio, Texas, hotness score 16.9 out of 100. Hotness rank 276, definitely in the lower quadrant, lower tier. Temple, Texas, hotness score 18.4, hotness rank 270. I mean, it's kind of the way Texas is rolling right now. All of them. Houston, hotness score 36, hotness rank 215, not great. Port Arthur, Texas, 14 on the hotness score, 286 on the ranking. Now you get into Louisiana. Louisiana is the worst. Hotness score of 1. Hotness rank 299. Hey, so if you live in Louisiana or you know somebody who does, I'd love to know what's happening in Louisiana. Why is the hotness score so low? Why is it the coldest market? New Orleans, hotness score 19.2, hotness rank 267. So yeah, Louisiana, Texas, this Gulf area here even extends into Florida. Look at this Crestview, Fort Walton Beach, Destin, Florida. A lot of people love to go to Destin, Florida from Ohio. It's like, I don't know, their second home or something. Hotness score 80.4, hotness rank 295, almost the worst. Panama City, Florida, hotness score 2.2, hotness rank 298. Yeah, Panama Jack would not be happy. Then you get into Florida, and there's no doubt Florida has experienced a lot of inventory growth and, an explosion in home prices during the pandemic. And so maybe it was overheated and now it's coming back to reality, or maybe it's just a lot of inventory there up for grabs, and that's causing prices to soften. But if you live in Florida, comment below. I'd love to know. Or if you know somebody in Florida, tell me what's going on. I'd love to understand what's happening on the street in Florida. Naples, Marco Island, Florida, hotness rank 262, metro size rank 123, and the hotness score of 22. So not great, right? Miami Beach, Fort Lauderdale, hotness score 26, hotness rank 254. No doubt, Florida is definitely at the bottom of the rungs when you look at hot or cold markets, according to Realtor.com. Now let's look at some of the Midwest, because that is where looks like a lot of the hotness is. Madison, Wisconsin, hotness score of 80, hotness rank 28. Chicago, hotness rank of 42, hotness score of 73. Jefferson City, Missouri, hotness score of 86, hotness rank 20 out of 300. They're near the top. All right, now I live in Ohio. I live near Columbus, Ohio, where I work as a real estate agent and an investor. So let's find out how Ohio is doing. Cincinnati, Ohio, hotness score 84.6, hotness rank 22. Let's look at Cleveland, Believeland, hotness score of 76.8, hotness rank of 35. Again, near the top. Okay, now let's look at Columbus. Hotness score of 94.6, hotness rank of 5. Almost the hottest market in the country. But there's some other Ohio cities on here too that shocked me. Akron, Ohio. Can that be right? Yes, it is. 91.5 hotness score, hotness rank 11 in the country. 11 out of 300. Now, there's always a question of who's better, Buckeyes or Wolverines? Let's look at Michigan and find out. Ann Arbor, Michigan, home of the Michigan Wolverines, hotness score 69.4, hotness rank 54. However, remember, go back to Columbus, home of the Ohio State Buckeyes, hotness score 94.6, hotness rank 5. Ohio wins. Rochester, New York, 99. Hotness score of 99, hotness rank 2. If you live in New York, upstate New York, or near Rochester, love to know. Comment below what's happening in Rochester, New York. And go back for a second to Ohio, because this is interesting. Toledo, Ohio also has a hotness score of 85.1 and a hotness rank of 21. So I heard a theory from a realtor that told me a lot of people who live in Canada own houses in Toledo, Akron, and like the northern states, because they're more affordable and they may be like vacation homes or investment properties. So I'm wondering if that's why these scores are so hot. But then you go to areas like in the Northeast and they're even hotter. So like Connecticut, Massachusetts, Rhode Island. I mean, all these areas here are just red hot. I mean, they're hotness score rank of 6, hotness score rank of 7, 23, 3 in Massachusetts, Springfield, Massachusetts, hotness rank of 4. So people must be moving there in droves, or there's just zero supply. I suspect that there's just a lack of supply. Let's look at some of the East Coast now. Even like New York. I mean, New York, the hotness score is 26, hotness rank 253. So it's definitely not up there. Maryland, hotness score 31, hotness rank 241. Let's look at Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, hotness score 34, hotness rank 228. So again, you can check out this map anytime you want on Resiclub, or you can look at the data on realtor.com. Let's talk for a second about how to find out if your market is actually cool or hot and how to keep track of it. I mean, you can certainly, again, go to the extent of looking at like the consumer health, M2 money supply, and all that other jazz. However, you can just go to Zillow.com, Realtor.com, or Redfin and get a gauge for yourself. I'm going to show you that right now. And a lot of people will tell you, you got to have access to the MLS in order to find out what's happening in your market. Again, not true at all. You can get a great understanding of what's happening in your market by simply using free tools. So I'm at Zillow.com right now. And the key to this is making sure you're searching in price points, meaning what's your price point for a house? If you are not looking, if you're not going to buy $1 million house or an $800,000 house, looking at that data is kind of useless for you, at least in my opinion. So it's better to stay in your lane. So take a look at what the inventory is and track that for the price point you want. So I have Franklin County pulled up right now, which is basically Columbus. And I searched, you can see I'm looking at houses for sale, $200,000 to $300,000. The home type, this is also important. You want to compare like type of assets. So I have houses checked only. If you have all these checked, it's going to show you manufactured houses, townhomes, multifamily properties, condos, lots and lands, apartments, all kinds of stuff. Unless, if you're looking for a townhome, select that. But if you don't, and you just want a house, a single family house, then just check houses. All right. Then you can select beds and bath, right? For this exercise, though, I'm leaving that just as any bed and bath. And my price point again is $200,000 to $300,000. And I clicked for sale. And you can see right now, there are 198 results right here, right? 198 results. So since there's 198 results, is that better or worse than last month? I don't know, but you can take that and go, all right, I'm going to write down 198 and the date. Put it in a spreadsheet if you want, however you want to track it. So you can take this result, 198, without even really looking at the details behind it and just go, hey, Zillow produced 198 results for houses priced between $200,000 and $300,000, single family houses in Franklin County. So I write that down, 198 results. I write the date down. Then I come back a month later or a week later or 2 weeks later, whatever you want to do, and check it again and go, all right, how many houses are there now available for sale? You'll see that maybe there are 190. Okay, there's less inventory. But what if you come back a month later and there's 250? Well, there's a lot more inventory. So if you see a trend, if you track your market and you see a trend go like this, it may mean that inventory is building and obviously prices could start to soften. However, if you see this number not growing very much or going the opposite direction and going down, then you know prices could remain sticky and they could continue to go up. Now, you can also go really detailed, right? Like you could draw on here, you can actually use the tool to draw a boundary of an area, and you could zone in on a subdivision or a school system, or you can actually select a zip code in here. So you can get really detailed and just track your very hyper local market. And by looking at a simple metric like the active inventory you have right now in the area and the price point you want to buy in, just by looking at that metric, it can really tell you a lot about the supply and demand of the area. And again, that's really what drives prices, folks. So you can get into the weeds if you want and do a crazy analysis with figures and facts and information. So this simple exercise with Zillow or any other real estate website can really give you an idea of what's happening with prices and where they may go. And this is really simple supply and demand, folks. I mean, if you have a number of houses for sale right now, that'll tell you the supply and demand, because if it goes up, if active inventory keeps rising and it doesn't fall, then you know the demand isn't growing. Demand is maybe going backwards. So the demand is going to be shown by looking at the active listings. Again, if you're just paying attention to prices, if you're just going, hey, price cut here, hey, price cut there, the market's crashing. Horrible strategy. Look at the active listings. This data is free. use it. Hey, so I hope you got something out of this video. Smash the like button and please subscribe if you got some value. I usually don't bother you guys during the videos about liking and subscribing and monkey business like that. Just want to add some value, give you some tools that you can use to be a better home buyer, seller, or investor. And by the way, if you are invested in real estate, you're already winning. So good job. All right. See you in the next video.